This episode of Rookie Hunter is brought to you by the Wild Sheep Foundation. Adventures in sheep country can change your life, and as residents of BC, we're very fortunate to have 3 different species of sheep in our province. After attending the Wild Sheep Foundation's annual convention, Sheep Show, in Reno, Nevada, we got to see what conservation looks like firsthand. The Wild Sheep Foundation's ability to raise and put millions of dollars on the ground each year to keep these majestic animals on the mountaintops worldwide is unmatched. The Wild Sheep family is a diverse group of people from all walks of life, and membership is open to anyone. Whether you're a seasoned pro, it's your first time on the mountain, or you just like to see sheep on the hillside, you can sign up and join today. Kelly and I are lifetime members, but you can become an annual member for just $45. You can also become a member of the Less Than One Club, which is the only club you want to get kicked out of. If you've never taken a North American or international ram, you can join us in the Less Than One Club for an extra $25. Plus, Less Than One Club membership also includes entry into a draw for 3 separate Doll sheep hunts, which will be given away at Sheep Show in 2019. For more information on the Wild Sheep Foundation and to become a member, head over to thewildsheepfoundation.org. Hey, welcome to, what are we at? 97. Man, number 100 is coming up damn quick here. We got some exciting stuff to announce regarding episode 100, and that's all going to be on an audio clip through iTunes or wherever you guys are getting your podcast from. You can also check out the website for more details, Instagram, to see all the cool stuff that you might just be able to win. I just got back from the Yukon, and holy shit, do I ever have some stories for you guys. But unfortunately, you're going to have to wait. It's all a secret for now. We're working on a film up there, and man, it was exciting, and I can't wait to share this stuff with you. So I'm only going to tease you for now, but you can expect a recap on the adventures of filmmaking in the Yukon. We've got some crazy stories. Anyways, on this episode, we've got our good friend Connor Gabbott with Talus Creative. He's going to give us some tips on how to capture a hunt, be it photography or video, tips on packing, what you might want to consider when buying gear, all that kind of stuff. Gear nerds are going to love this stuff. I know lots of you guys want to learn how to capture your hunt and do it well. And we close out the episode with some good tips from Connor for our sheep hunt. This is another one from the Peppermill archives from Sheep Show. It's a little rough around the edges, so you've been warned, but we had a lot of fun with this one. It was a great conversation. With Sheep Show in mind, well, guess where I'm leading with this one? You can become a member of the Wild Sheep Foundation by going to thewildsheepfoundation.org. Don't forget to sign yourself up for the Less Than One Club. You guys know the drill. Also, North Arm Knives, head over to their website, which is northarmknives.com, and get yourself a blade for the upcoming bear season, or whatever you guys are up to, wherever you are. Anyways, my brain is fried. I'm having some trouble adjusting after this trip to the Yukon, so I'm just going to stop talking. Let's get into this one. Sit back, relax, crack a cold beer, and enjoy episode 97 with Connor Gabbott.
Yeah, give me the full alphabet and all the numbers. I'll make it work.
You guys been doing this all day?
Since noon, 11:30 or something. We had Nolan in here.
Yeah.
Poor guy was a little, I think he was having trouble stringing a sentence together.
Well,
but
what time was that then? That was first thing?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Jesus. I love the headsets.
Yeah, man. I don't know. We're coming around to them. I'm just so anal about the way it should sound. And I've got, actually it's over there, or it's in the safe, I think, but like a really nice broadcast microphone.
Yeah.
And between that and this that's a big difference. But
I'm sure.
Just for the sake of having a headphone and a microphone.
Yeah.
And that's all you have to bring, rather than like a mic and a cable and headphones, and it cuts your weight down a lot. So
totally. I also think just for like the like how people interact when they're on the headsets is much different.
It's more natural because you don't have to stay in one spot with the mic right in your face and shit like that. So
I was always telling Adam that.
You can't see like past the
you got a big block in your face.
Yeah.
But yeah, these weren't cheap, but I think they were a good investment. So I'm happy.
Yeah, mine was pretty loud too.
Yeah, I don't know why it's so
now,
loud. It didn't seem this loud before.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess we got louder.
you become more and more maybe drunk, and so
Could be, yeah.
a couple podcasts, couple beers later, it's like
Kinda keep rolling the
everything's
game
loud.
down.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, Connor Gabbott, welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming up to the hotel.
Yeah, of course. Had to see where the magic happens, man.
Yeah, this is it, man.
Yeah. I think the last time we did a podcast with you, it wasn't necessarily ours. We were with Adam, but it
Oh,
was
yeah.
in a hotel room in the same building.
Yeah, that's
So
right. Yeah,
I
that's a good
guess
one.
we'll see you next year.
Yeah, we'll make it a ritual.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, hopefully we can do a hunt together and not be working.
man, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we've been talking about the black bear hunt.
Yep.
We got to make that. I was talking to them again about it last night, the rest of the crew there. So we have to make sure we make it happen. 'cause
Yeah,
that'll be fun.
I'd totally be in. I'm starting to fill up. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
figure something out.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about it tonight.
Yeah.
And that blacktail hunt's got to happen again.
Oh yeah,
That
yeah.
was fucking fun, man.
And November, like November long weekend, like Remembrance Day kind of thing.
Mhm.
Like that's just my jam from now on.
Nice.
Going forward, I'm always going to go back.
Well, we're coming whether you like it or not. So we've invited ourselves.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, cool. Well, on that note, you and I got to work together, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
On that hunt, and we can actually talk about it a bit because the one campfire video came out today.
Yeah.
I guess officially, or yesterday, or whatever.
Yeah, did they launch it on social too?
Yeah, it's out there.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, kind of a neat concept and a lot of fun working on it. Like to go out and this is what you've been doing pretty much full time now, is going out on hunts and capturing it all. And so
Yeah.
it's I don't know. It's I'd say you're lucky to be doing that kind of work, man. I'm sure
Oh,
it has its pros and cons like anything, but sure beats sitting in a fucking office all day long. So.
Totally. I'll take it. Yeah. The
Yeah.
the pros far outweigh the cons.
Yeah.
Yeah. So living the dream.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Or my least favorite saying is I'm living my best life.
There you go.
Hate that saying, but I'll use it.
Did you just go on a desert hunt?
Yeah, I just got back from Mexico last week.
Oh, nice.
I actually did 2 in January. So one like December 27th to Jan 7th, and then I did another one just here at the end. First one was Tiburon Island, so that's like off the coast of the mainland, and they have like Mexicalis, I think they are.
Okay.
Desert sheep. That one pretty cool experience, like kind of hunt of a lifetime, I think. And then Southern Baja is for a different species or a different subspecies called Whimsy.
Okay.
WEMSI, and that was really cool.
Cool.
Yeah, way more of like a real sheep hunt than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I kind of thought we'd be like driving around in a truck in one of those like high chairs and like, oh yeah, there's a ram, and get down, you lay on the truck and shoot kind of thing.
Right.
But no, man, it was a real hunt.
Cool.
Backpack
Awesome.
and
Yeah, you're really good at the Insta stories because you have like 30 intervals of you can watch the whole hunt on Insta story,
oh yeah,
which is cool. But like one of the aspects was you guys are hunting and you look in the back and you just see the coastline and the ocean in the back.
yeah, dude.
That was
Yeah.
cool.
Like the thought of like sheep hunting on the ocean is something I
Yeah.
never like thought about.
Yeah.
And so to be there doing that was awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. Even like we were going to take a boat, didn't work out because of the weather, but we were going to take a boat like down the coast to this like roadless area. And so yeah, we're like right on the ocean on this like beautiful sand beach. There's like a couple sailboats out there anchored, and there's like people like tourists like lying there, and we've got like a rifle and a bunch of packs, and they're all like in bikinis and board shorts.
Right.
And we're like all geared up, like head to toe camo. It was pretty funny. We like pulled
Nice.
around the beach in the truck, and but yeah, like even just that thought, like taking a boat on the ocean to go sheep hunting. is
Yeah,
kinda
that's
cool.
wild, man.
Yeah.
I never would have pictured those two things
Yeah.
going together.
Yeah. So
Awesome. Let's backtrack a little bit. When did you start hunting? You've been doing it forever.
2009.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is my 10-year transformation year.
Wow. Nice. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks. Yeah. I like. Do you want to know like how I got into it? and
Yeah,
stuff?
for sure.
Yeah. So I was a chef. I was a chef for 20 years, and I had a buddy who I lived with. He used to work at a gun store, and so he had a couple of guns, and so we're bullshitting one night, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I got guns," and I was a city boy, and this was up in Kamloops, so not like a big city,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Well, shit, like pull them out, like let's see some guns." So play with the guns, and then we go out and shoot, and I was like, "This is super fun. Never shot a gun before.
Yeah.
I got to get one." Got my pal, got a gun, went out and shot like a box and a half of rounds, and then it's like, okay, well, what do I do with it now? Like, does it just sit there and I just shoot it once in a while?
Right.
And then at the same time, there was this like nose to tail cuisine movement. So, where a restaurant would bring in like a whole pig, and they'd make like, a bunch of different specials. It'd be like, they'd use the jowls, like the cheeks, they'd use the belly, they'd use, like make their own bacon, and you're really using that whole animal. Mm-hmm. And so I was kind of thrown onto that through my cooking career. And it was like, well, shit, I can go get my own fucking animal if I want. And so why don't I go hunting? So got the hunting license and started hunting. And then a couple of years ago was kind of like my break into the the backcountry backpack hunts.
Yeah.
That I was just like hooked instantly.
Yeah.
It changes your whole life.
It does.
Oh man. Yeah.
Which is very true for you. So you were a chef for how many years?
Yeah. So 20 years, 15 until 35.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
And so last year you pulled the plug on that.
Yeah.
Which is pretty crazy, man.
Yeah. The passion for the photography side of things, obviously just a hobby at the time, but it just kept growing and growing. And I was like, you know what, man, like this is a way bigger passion than my passion for food, which is still super strong. But I said, if I'm going to do it, then now's the time. And it was going into the fall and I had a couple offers to do some jobs and I was like, fuck it. Like, just got to go for it.
Yeah. Good for you.
Going to send it and see what happens.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's Kelly's slogan for 2019.
Is it?
Just send it.
That's why I had to do the sheep hunt. The backpack race.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That was my first step in the send it territory.
You need a tattoo that says that somewhere in your body.
Yeah.
Tramp
I
stamp.
agree. Right on the side of my neck.
That's an inappropriate spot for send it to be written.
Just gonna send it. That would be fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, there's the tattoo parlor over here.
Yeah.
Hashtag.
Yeah. I'm allowed to swear, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Raised in the kitchen, I drop F-bombs all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, you're on the right show. Don't worry.
Perfect. I think I dropped an F-bomb quietly on the Leopold podcast earlier today, and he's like at the beginning, he's like, "Oh, don't swear," and it just like slipped out. It's like, hope no one heard that.
It happens.
Yeah.
You gotta have a few in there. Even Meat Eater, I find they're doing a little more.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's natural.
It's how we talk when we're hanging out. So
yeah,
shit, why not?
Yeah,
I want to have a real podcast, right?
Exactly.
So
yeah, how did it feel to leave chef life behind and pursue an artistic career?
Well, I think there's a lot of similarities in terms of like the artistic side of things. It's just a different medium.
Yeah, true. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I didn't mean to discredit chefs as not being artistic.
No.
But I mean like the sort of the freelance lifestyle of doing something in the arts, I suppose is what I.
Yeah, it was like it was coming. I think for like a year or two, right? It was super nerve-wracking. I mean, like the emotions of like going out on your own, like there's fear, there's excitement, there's like, elation at like booking a job, like all those different things. It's just like so many highs, and I wouldn't say lows, but just like challenges that have made it super, super rewarding. Like I can't imagine going back to work for someone else at this point.
Yeah, I know what you mean for sure. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's not always easy, and you don't always know what's coming next, but it's worth it.
Yeah. It's funny. I was talking to this with another content creator yesterday, actually, and I don't know if you guys experienced the same thing, but like with these jobs, like I was so nervous about like, well, what if I can't fill this time, and like, what am I going to do for money and all this kind of thing, and. I got savings and I thought I'd kind of just like milk that for the first 6 months. And turned out that it's been the opposite. Like I've gotten a bunch of jobs and I haven't had to dip in the savings. But it's funny, like, there could be a job and all of a sudden, the plug gets pulled before you start kind of thing, or like someone backs out and you lose the job. And then it's like, super stressful. And what am I going to do for this time? And then, man, it seems like things just kind of fall into place.
Yeah.
Like literally the next day, someone will be like, hey, like, are you available to do something this date? And it's like, well, that's the date that the other job just fell through on. And it's like, man, things just kind of like, they work out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like the universe is telling me I'm on the right track. So
Yeah,
I got to keep going.
Yeah. That's a good sign.
I don't know if you guys have that. Like,
yeah,
with
definitely,
projects.
man. It always seems like that too. When something changes quickly, and then it's stressful because you're like, well, fuck, I was sort of relying on this and had planned to do it. What am I going to do? And it does seem like something else. Sometimes it's even like a better opportunity that will come from something that didn't happen or something you turned down or whatever. But
for sure.
Yeah, there's always uncertainty with that kinds of thing. But it seems to work out. So as long as you're persistent and do good work too, that helps.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, I thought it'd be fun to talk about photography from an amateur perspective, and even filming hunts as well. something that we try to do. I think we're getting better at it. Kelly's sort of on the camera. What's the thing that you bought? Because that helped a lot.
It's the clip. I can't remember what it's
Peak
called.
Designs.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are good.
Because it seems like it's such a pain in the ass. You bring the camera, you want to take a photo, you got to take your fucking pack off
Yeah,
and like mess
brutal.
around. It's like you feel like you're wasting so much time just fucking around with it. You know what I mean?
Or you just don't fucking do it because it's such a hassle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which I found in most cases that's what we would do. We'd always be like, yeah, we should take some pictures. And yeah. And then we never do. We
Yeah.
come back with like 12 photos or something like that.
Yeah,
Totally.
And it's like, wow.
Man, the best camera is the one that you have like readily available.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if you don't want to carry it or whatever, and you're an iPhone guy, well, then your iPhone's your best camera.
Right.
Exactly.
Like because you're actually going to use it, it's in your pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if somebody does want to take it to the next level beyond the iPhone,
Yeah.
what do you have any specific or like a broad range of equipment that you would recommend just to get started with?
Yeah, I mean, and sorry, you know what? I'm going to go back there just because we were talking about that Peak Design clip. That and for those of you guys who don't know, the listeners, it's basically a clip that goes on your shoulder strap of your backpack, or you can put it on your belt. You could put it like in a different number of places, and there's a small little clip on the bottom of your camera that just screws in, and so basically that just like slides in. It's a little holster essentially, and then that holds it there, and it's super sturdy, which was super key. It was a game changer for me when I first started doing that. But the reason I wanted to go back to that is I started using a different product recently, and I absolutely love it. It's been like another game changer for me, and it's called Cotton Carrier. So it's a harness system that you put on your chest. They have a small one called the Scout, which like goes over one shoulder and it's quite small. And then they have a bigger one that's like quite large, goes over both shoulders and around the back and stuff. And what I like about it is one, it's metal and plastic as opposed to metal and metal, the connection. So when you slide that thing in and out, it's much quieter than when you use the Peak Designs one.
Okay.
It locks when you turn it, and so the camera naturally wants to hang like lens down. So the way you put it in is you just put it in like at a 90-degree angle, and then it automatically just like swings down, and it's locked in at that point. And then the last one is, it always used to bother me when I had the Peak Designs, and you got a super heavy pack on, and it's like I need to run out there, or like I need to take my pack off for some reason. You got to take the camera off, and you got to put it down somewhere, or you got to hold it.
Yeah, that's right.
You can't just drop the pack because the thing goes flying, right? And so with the chest harness, it's awesome because the camera's always on you.
Okay.
And then if you run two camera setups, I don't know if anybody's doing that who's listening, but if you do, then that harness is really good. You can get another little side holster for it, and so it can support two cameras and like big cameras, big lenses.
Right.
I actually want to get something like that for the Zoom too, because we're going to be doing lots of podcasting while we're out.
Oh yeah.
And I want to capture sounds, and it's got a tripod mount underneath there, or spot for it.
Yeah.
Which would be super handy for that kind of thing too, just to have it right, or even on the belt or whatever.
Like, are you thinking like you'd have it on you and you'd like be mic'd up and you'd be walking and like talking?
Exactly. So say
Dude, that
like
would be fucking sick.
we're doing the sheep hunt, and all of a sudden there's a fucking sheep there. All I have to do is hit record. Everybody's mic'd up wirelessly, and we're ready to rock and roll.
We did that with the bear hunt.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, I had for that one, I had the just my bino harness, so I just stuck it in there with the there's a mic capsule that goes on the front of this, and just shoved it in there, and like, oh fuck, I don't know what we're gonna get from this, but let's just try it like that, and it captured it pretty cool.
That's awesome. I listen to a lot of like the Daily podcast. I don't know if you guys listen to that, and I think it's an NPR thing where they started it, but just like capturing the ambient noise.
Totally.
So like I can imagine if you're like hiking and like crossing streams, and it's like talking about stuff, and there's all this background noise. That'd be awesome.
That's exactly what I want to do, because it's always like, even when you and I were working together, you're like, oh, like there's nice wind sound in the trees. By the time I get the zoom out, like it's not fucking windy anymore, and now I can hear a helicopter in the background. That's cool. You know what? I've got an extra Scout, like a harness system. Yeah, it's just the one shoulder one, and I prefer the two, the double. So I'll just give it to you. You can try it out. Deal.
Yeah,
sounds good to me.
Yeah.
I find the one thing with the capture clip or the Peak Design, is you do have to try it with like a light pack versus a heavy pack, because if you just throw it on there and then you get a bunch of weight in your pack, all of a sudden it's way up here. Oh yeah. Or way down here, right? And then it can get pretty uncomfortable in the armpit area. Yeah. But
and Cotton Carrier, they also make a similar type. It's a little bit bigger, but it's the same like plastic and metal components, so you can get the same thing on your shoulder strap.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, derailed you.
No, I derailed you. Sorry, what was the question again?
We're just
camera gear.
Yeah, just go through
Like-
sort of entry level equipment or just handy things you
some
might want to
basics.
bring.
Yeah. I mean, really, it's however much you want to pack. There's so much fucking gear out there. Like you can load yourself down with 60 pounds if you want. But yeah, I would say like kind of entry level stuff. I mean, obviously you need a camera. I'm pretty big on the Sonys right now, just because I run a couple of them and I really like them.
Yeah.
So those mirrorless ones are pretty cool. We were just looking it up actually before the podcast. So I believe the one that the good one is like the Sony A6500. It might be the A6000. I can't remember exactly, but I think it should be around $1,000 or so, maybe 1,200.
Yeah.
And just a really, really good camera. It has like ton of features. It just came out. I think it's like the fourth generation or something like that.
Okay.
So I'd look at that. But yeah, I mean, if you want to get into photography, I would say, I mean, you need a camera. I gravitate towards having exchangeable lenses, even if you're starting out. I just think is a good thing to have, right?
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to like a point and shoot.
Yeah.
Any lenses in particular that you would?
Man, lenses are such a hard one because like they can be so specific. So I would just say like if you're getting into it, just look for something that's got a lot of range.
Yeah.
So and with those Sonys, they do have some that are, they'll be like I think they have like a 24 to like 200 or something like that, which is just a focal range, right? Like millimeters.
Yeah.
So 200 being like it'll zoom right in essentially, and then 24 is like pretty wide. So I would say like 24. I would say it would be like the minimum in terms of like wide, especially for what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's tons of action. You want to capture that landscape. Like you don't want a lens that's only a zoom lens.
Mm-hmm. What we have right now is basically an entry level Rebel body, and then spent a little more cash on the lens, so it's a 17 to 55 IS 2.8.
Yep,
and that seems to work pretty good. Sometimes I throw the 50 in there too, just fixed.
Oh yeah, like the
50,
little
1.4 or whatever.
Yeah, cool.
It's awesome too.
Yeah, it's man, you can spend so much money on lenses, but yeah, I would say like get some with like a ton of range if you want, especially if you want to capture animals,
wildlife.
Yeah. Like I would say definitely look for something that goes up to like 200 mils. Yeah. And then in terms of like aperture, like you mentioned the 2.8 and stuff like that, and the 1.4. So aperture, for those of you guys who don't know, aperture is essentially like the size of the opening that lets in light. And so the smaller the number, like 1.4, 1.2, 0.8, whatever, that's the bigger it's going to get. So it lets in more light. So essentially what that does for you is when you get those really artistic shots where something's in focus and then everything else is blurry and out of focus, right? You can like really hone your photography or hone your picture, into like into one specific part, right? That's what you want the viewer to look at. So to get that really kind of artsy look, you need a fast lens or like a big wide lens. So a big aperture. So essentially you want something like low 2.8, you'll get there. 1.8 really good, and when you get down even further it gets better. Yeah, there's other ways to achieve it, but that's kind of like just like a basic way to achieve those photos.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then what else? I mean, man, get a good cleaning kit, especially for what we do. That's
for
key.
sure.
One thing I really like is a blower. You saw me use it a bunch.
Yeah, I appreciate how much time you spent cleaning the lenses because I've worked with other people that don't, and it drives me fucking crazy.
Oh yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah. So I appreciate that. I know. I think it's because I'm kind of a bit of a neat freak sometimes too. So it's like I can see a little speck on your lens, and it's driving me fucking nuts. Just clean that thing, man.
Especially for video, like those things stand out a lot.
Totally.
So that blower is pretty key. They're pretty cheap too, but get a good one, and essentially all it does is just blow air onto your lens, which means you don't have to be wiping it constantly, which could lead to lots of small scratches over time. So just kind of preserves the longevity, and just a quick way to clean a lens if it's just like superficial dust and stuff.
Yeah.
Alcohol wipes and a little microcloth are really good. And then I actually recently got a little brush that I really, really like. It does a really good job. It kind of, I don't know if it picks up or if it's like staticky or something like that, but I feel like you just brush that over your lens a couple times and it picks up all the dust that maybe the blower doesn't get.
Right.
So yeah, definitely get a good cleaning kit.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you get into digiscoping or anything like that?
I use the phone scope.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't actually mount my cameras to the scope, and I don't really have a good reason, I guess. I mean, the phone is so easy. It's always in your pocket.
Yeah.
It shoots 4K video. You got to touch it up in post and you can tell. But I think for what we're doing, everybody knows what it looks like to look through a scope. So, they can get behind it. They can understand maybe the loss of quality because of what we're doing.
The situation, yeah.
Yeah, and actually the phone scope's pretty good because if you get it on there right, and I zoom into 1.3 magnification, and that gets rid of all the black lines. So you just have a perfect picture essentially.
Cool.
Yeah.
Tripods?
Tripods, yeah. Tripods are great. I mean, if you're just shooting pictures and stuff like that, the only time I'd really use it would be for if you're doing a selfie or
Right.
if you're doing some night shots.
Cool. I was going to ask you about nighttime photography. I guess the good thing is if you're carrying a spotter, you're probably going to have a tripod with you anyway, so you've got it with you.
Mm-hmm.
And did you switch tripods?
Yeah, I went with the Slick. I can't remember the number now. It's a very commonly used one in the hunting field, like the 6-something carbon fiber or whatever, which seemed like a pretty good value.
For sure.
I mean, you can spend so much money on tripods; it's just mind-boggling.
Yeah.
And then I went with a Sarui something 5 head. VA5 or
VA5,
yeah.
That's the money right there.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I just upgraded to that last year. Actually, sorry, it was given to me by a goat hunter. I documented the hunt, and then he gave it to me. But that thing is unbelievable.
It's cool.
Like way better than any other system I've used for a tripod head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got the fluid kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't do any filming yet, but maybe we could.
Yeah.
Kind of work.
I'd like
into that a
to,
little bit.
even just to have little clips to use for Instagram or whatever would be kind of cool, or for the website, but it would be nice.
Yeah, and that thing locks down really good. Like it's solid.
It does, yeah.
Like it doesn't have a lot of like shimmy or shake. My old ones, you like lock it down, or you'd have to like, tilt something up, lock it down, and expect it to like fall a little bit, right? Or like tilt. So,
do you find like I can't remember what the mounting system is, like the clamp system, but some of my plates are bigger than other plates, and I'm constantly like rotating that little locking thing to open it up for one, and then I'm closing it down for another one.
Oh yeah.
Do you find that at all, or did I just get a lemon?
So I don't really understand. So that locking mechanism, I've seen a couple of guys with the same tripod head, and when I first got it, it like wouldn't open all the way up, but you could get that specific plate that came with it. You could get it in there no problem and then lock it down. And then one day I was playing with it, and I think I just reefed on it too hard, and it kind of like popped a little bit, and it opened up more. So I don't know if there was like dirt or something like that in there. And then now it fits everything, or like all the same base plates. But a buddy of mine had the same thing. I went to use his, and it didn't open all the way.
Yep.
And so it was really hard. He actually had his thing like half mounted in and half hanging out. So
did he fix it, or is it still like that?
It's still like that. I looked at the little knob, and it's probably boring, but for you, you'd like it. And so I feel like there's a very small little like stop inside there. Yeah. And I think when I reefed on mine, I think I broke it. And so it opens up even more, but his like stopped and wouldn't go all the way back in.
Okay, I'm going to bust that thing when I get home.
Yeah. I mean, I just twisted it and it happened to break off, but hopefully you don't break the whole fucking thing.
Nice.
Nighttime photography.
Yeah.
What's the key to getting those nice, clear images with the stars? Especially, it's like, I don't know. It seems like the stars and shit always look super blurry and not really that great. So how do you approach?
So, I mean, the first thing, the easiest thing is just if you have that large aperture or like low f-stop, like we talked about earlier, where it's like 1.8 kind of thing, that just is going to let in more light. So the more light you can get in, then the easier it is on your camera to actually pick up that image. So if you can get something that is use a wide lens so you can capture the whole scene for nighttime stuff, and then get it like as fast as you can, so as low an f-stop as possible. And then from there, I mean, focus on the stars. So I don't know if you guys have like peaking on your camera, but essentially if you go to manual, you can set it up so that whatever's in focus turns a bit like red or whatever color you want, yellow, right? So I'll focus in on the stars, and you'll see it. Like it's very obvious because they kind of turn red a little bit, or they have red rings when they're in focus.
I don't think my camera has that, but that sounds cool.
Yeah. It's a pretty nice little function. And then essentially, it'll take me like 5 shots to get one good one, because it's all experimentation, and I don't really have enough experience yet to say, hey, like these are the settings for this scenario.
Right.
So I'll just do I'll do like 800 ISO kind of thing, and then I'll do like 15 seconds, and then go from there. And then I'll also always do a self timer. So I have like a 2-second timer, just so that you're not touching it and moving the camera at the same time. And then away you go. And then from there, I'll just look at it, and it's like, it needs a bit more light. Okay. So I can either, extend the exposure, or I can turn up the ISO to capture that. And then honestly, post like editing is key.
Right.
Like it'll look good, but then you take it into post, and that's when things really pop.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I'll show you like some of the nighttime ones we captured, and see if you have any thoughts on how we can make them look better. They're cool for us, but like, they're just not like hang on your wall. Cool. Yeah. Not quite yet. Anyway,
yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, I like post editing is huge for that kind of stuff. And that, man, if you wanted to get into photography, like when you talk about like gear, I would get a subscription to the Creative Cloud, so Adobe Creative Cloud, and they have a program called Lightroom, which is for editing pictures.
Yeah, right.
It's actually quite simple, and honestly, everything you want to know about it is on YouTube.
Yeah,
you just Google something, and it'll come up there, and then that makes a huge difference.
I love how things are subscription based now, because the recording software that I'm using has finally switched over to that, and it's always just updated constantly.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Rather than having to fucking spend $1,000 every year to update it, right?
Totally.
Yeah, so that's cool. What is a subscription for?
So I have the full suite. So I can do like I have a bunch of different things for, I don't know, I think there's like 15 different apps on there for video, for audio, for pictures, for graphic design, all that kind of stuff. So I think I pay $50 a month.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, I believe like the bare minimum is $19.99 US or something like that, and you get one program, or you can get like a bundle of 3 for somewhere in between there, or you go the full suite. So
cool,
and they all work together. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's talk about packing for a hunt, because we're always trying to minimize weight. So if you're hunting and like you say you're just going out for yourself, how do you pack differently for that, rather than like if you're working on a production?
I just if I'm going out for myself, then I try and keep the camera gear pretty minimal. So I'll try and just do one lens, and I'll just say, fuck it, I'm not going to get a picture of a bear close up because I don't have my big zoom lens. So I'll run one camera. I'll run my 24x70 lens. So it's just kind of like a good intermediate range, and then that's basically it. Yeah, and then with one camera and just shooting photos, I won't do any like self-filming video really anymore. It's a small amount of battery power too, and memory and stuff. So whereas if I'm going out for a job, then it's 2 cameras. Man, so many fucking batteries.
Yeah.
Like probably a couple pounds worth of batteries.
Yeah.
And then what do I have? 3 lenses, I think. 3 or 4 lenses. Microphone for audio, and then the cleaning kit and the tripod and filters. Another one, like polarizers and stuff like that to cut down on glare. And then I'll bring a flash as well. I'll bring an intervalometer. Intervalometer is basically just a little unit. They're pretty cheap. You just plug it into your camera, and that will do a number of different things. It'll do long exposures. So like if you set it to bulb, you can just have the sensor or the mirror open for however long you want to do it for. And you can do like time lapse, so it'll like take pictures every minute or whatever.
Cool.
So that kind of stuff. And then on spare batteries for all that, a couple spare parts for the microphone, and Leatherman. Always have my Leatherman, just for trying to play around with something or tighten up the plate on the bottom. And I think that's about it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, the phone scope adapter, I consider like part of my camera gear.
Yeah, we need to bring that we need to get one for sheep hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just depends on what scope you have, and I can never find one for the newer Vortex Razor.
I think
there.
Garrett
I
has
just
one
haven't looked
actually.
for a while. Oh, he has one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
we'll grab one.
I'll drop a little hint, something that I learned recently for the phone scope. So for those of you guys who are listening who don't know, so the phone scope has a case that goes over your phone, obviously, and then on the back of it, there's a little round adapter that slides on, and then from there, there's also a bigger round piece that screws on essentially, or like, twists in, and that is designed for a specific spotting scope, right? So, you could have the same phone case, and you've got a couple different adapters for if you're looking through your binos or you're looking through different spotting scopes or whatever.
Mhm.
But what I found is throwing that thing on is a pain, especially to get rid of all the black that goes around the outside. So, because it's got to be like just kind of square. So what I'll do is I actually take the larger round piece and I'll pop it off the phone scope. I'll start again. What I'll do is I'll take the whole setup when I'm at home and I'll like mount it up and I'll get it so it's like just perfectly fixed in the camera there, or sorry, the lens, and then I'll pop off the actual phone, like unscrew the phone, but leave the adapter piece on the phone scope, on the spotting scope. So then anytime I need to take a quick shot or something like that, or there's an animal, like let's get some footage of it, as opposed to pulling out my phone, mounting it on, like playing around with it so that I get rid of all the black, like that takes a couple seconds. Now I just pull it out. The phone's flatter in my pocket and I can just put it on and just twist and then you're good to go.
Nice.
And then every time it's all lined up. So,
right.
Cool.
And then lastly to that, I would just say the flat round piece that goes on the back of the phone scope on your actual phone. If you can get a spare one of those, highly recommend it, so that you could like tape it up. So it's basically covered, and then you could just twist that on your spotting scope because your cap will no longer work with that adapter on there. So you can just twist it on. It's kind of like a new cap. Then you can pop it off, take a look, and whatever, put your phone on.
Cool.
I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does.
I'm still a bit hungover, so
it's okay.
if you guys are listening,
everybody is.
Yeah, I'll do an Instagram story of it or something like
nice.
that.
Yeah, nice. Let us know if you do. We'll post it up with this too.
Yeah, for sure.
I had a question.
I think that's going to be my next purchase, is just grabbing one of those, playing around with it a little bit. So we got the sheep hunt coming up.
We certainly do.
Yeah.
If you're only rocking an iPhone, is there any way to improve your photography with an iPhone, or is it just is what it is?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, again, I don't know the skill level of the people who are listening, but one of the big ones would just be like playing with auto exposure and autofocus and stuff like that. So just touching that screen on what you want to focus on, and then being able to play with that little sun icon to make it brighter.
Yeah, I don't think many people know that that's an option on there.
Yeah, so when and this is just an iPhone. I don't know about other ones, but basically that focus box. So if you touch the screen on what you want to focus on, there's a small little sun icon that comes up on the right hand side of the box, and if you press that and then drag your finger down, it'll darken, and if you drag your finger up, it'll brighten. So what you can do is, if you're trying to take a picture of someone and it's like really bright behind them, it might not realize that's what you want to take a picture of, and it might have them be really dark. So you can just touch the screen on their face. That should auto adjust, but if you're like, it's just a bit too bright still, you can just make it a little bit darker. That would be one. The editing on here is actually, it's not bad. Like you can get pretty good colors. So like some people have never played with it and they'll be like, hey, I took this picture, like anything you can do with it. And I'll be like, yeah, I can help you right now, or you can send it to me and I can try and edit it in my program. But yeah, you go into the editing and it's very simple. It's got a ton of different options, but it's very simple in that it has color and light. And so you can just drag a bar and then, it gets either lighter or darker and like adjust a ton of different components of the photo. And then, or you can go in and like choose like the actual characteristic by characteristic, like what you want to change, the black point, the contrast, all that kind of stuff. Or it's kind of like, it does it for you if you want. So that'd be a big one. And then for video, like if you're phone scoping, I always do. So again, same kind of thing. You want to lock that exposure. So what happens is, it will, if you're focused on something and maybe the sun comes out or the sun goes away or the sheep moves, or like the phone after a while, it might think, oh, I need to readjust my exposure here. If you don't want it to do that, or change focal points or focus or something like that, you can press and then hold on what you want. And then after 2 seconds, it'll say AEAF lock on the very top.
Oh, cool.
And then again, same thing. You can make it brighter or darker. And then no matter what, it'll hold that. So when you move the phone, it won't readjust your exposure. So
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's kind of a cool one. I think that's all I can
Pretty
really
much
think
it,
of.
yeah.
I
think the new iPhones, you can adjust the aperture after you take the picture.
Yeah, I think you're,
which I don't know if that's kind of taboo with photographers, right? Like, I don't know. I imagine it's obviously not going to be as good as just buying a good lens, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I think you could be able to shoot in RAW with
that's
new ones. which
That's
is
right.
kind of cool.
Yeah,
Sure
on the 10. On like the
I
iPhone
believe so, yeah.
X or whatever.
I don't know. One of them. Anyway,
Yeah.
something new or something that's already out. I have no idea, but
Yeah.
So that would increase your editing capabilities, which would be kind of cool.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, and then if you get Lightroom, you can also get an app for the for your phone.
Yeah,
So-
a guy that I was working on the film in Germany was showing me some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Because he was constantly taking photos of us all. I'm like, fuck, how you getting this to look so good? And he had that app on there.
Yeah.
And you just need to have that subscription and you got access to it.
Yeah, and it's all the same. It's all attached. So.
Yeah, and I didn't know that they showed me too because they were using the iPhones just for additional 4K footage. But again, I didn't know that was even an option on the phone to shoot in 4K.
Yeah.
And you can actually get some pretty nice video. So we're kind of lucky in that sense that we can bring this small thing with us and capture some pretty decent shit.
Man, and it does a good job. Like the dynamic range, like the color and stuff like that, essentially that it gives you is really good.
Yeah.
Like it's better than a lot of cameras, right? You take a picture side by side with both, and like your iPhone picture will look way more contrast, way better color, richer, all that stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
yeah, we're definitely lucky.
Yeah, certainly. I don't know if there's anything other questions I had for photography you got.
No, but I was going to ask you because you and Stephen Drake went on an archery stone sheep hunt.
We did, yeah.
Last year?
2017.
Okay, a couple years ago.
Yep.
And we're going to be going up there in August. So do you have any stone sheep hunting tips for us?
Oh man, like just general like backpack hunting, or specifically for like getting in on stone sheep or like finding them.
So we'll be flying in, landing on the lake.
Yeah,
and then we're going to be backpack hunting, and we're just going to go. So from our perspective, we're kind of looking at like what is the first and the second day look like?
Yeah,
and then once we get set up, how do we, what are you doing to find sheep?
Yeah. So I'm a big fan of like planning and scouting and stuff like that on Google Earth. So that's kind of where I always start for any like serious hunt that I want to go do. So I'll start there. What I look for is, if you know what you're looking for in terms of sheep, or that there's sheep in the area, I think that's pretty like self-explanatory. You're looking for like big peaks and they like the alpine, obviously. But for stone sheep anyway. So I would say I try and find an area where I can go. So how long are you guys going for? How many days?
12.
So I try to find an area that I can do like a circ, like a 12-day loop essentially. And I would, I'd basically go and I'd say, I'd look at it and say, okay, here's the area where I think there's going to be sheep. So I'm looking on like often south-facing slopes if it's early in the year, or maybe even north-facing too if it's going to be super, super hot. But I'll identify those areas like within the general area that I'm going to be hunting. From there, I'll try and find, how far can I go the first day and where's a good glassing point. So find that glassing point, drop the little man from Google Earth on the actual mountaintop, and find the spot that offers you the best vantage point. And that might just be like, couple hundred yards and you can see around the side of the mountain a little bit more, and it offers you a better view. So try and find those glassing points that are going to set you up so you can glass the areas where you think there's most likely to be sheep. And then what I'll do is I'll, camp up top. That would be a big one. Don't camp at the bottom if you can, avoid it. And then, work those ridge lines. So be up there, camp up there, glass the evening, essentially, like your first day. And then I'll always glass the next morning too. So you've got it morning and night, because sometimes they'll be in different areas.
Right.
And so you kind of cover your bases for that one spot. If you don't see anything, you move to the next spot. And again, it's, a couple hours in the middle of the day is essentially how long I'd hike for. And then you post up again. That's your camp spot for the night. And then you're sitting there and you're glassing the same thing evening and the morning. And not just glassing the one area. Obviously, keep glassing like everything, because especially with those stone sheep, like you see them skyline miles away. So this might be where you're looking right in front of you, and you've got a ton of terrain to look at. But don't forget to like look past like a couple mountain ranges, because all of a sudden, middle of the day or whatever, anytime, either it could be a sheep standing there.
Okay,
that you might want to go chase.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, that'd be a big one. And then I like being up top. I know it's more work, and sometimes it's maybe more dangerous, or sometimes maybe you just can't be up top, but if you can, it just helps you a lot.
Right.
If you're rifle hunting, it's maybe not as important, but especially if you're archery hunting, to come down from above is crucial. What else for stone sheep tips? I don't know. What else do you want to know?
What's your range for that first day? Like when you're thinking, okay, I landed on this lake and I want to get X amount. Like I know it depends on terrain, obviously, but what are you trying to hit in terms of kilometers on that first hike out?
I wouldn't discount seeing something right off where you're going to land. Like even if there's good traffic in there, like I wouldn't discount it. So I wouldn't say like I'm trying to get a certain distance away. Mm-hmm. I'd say I just want to get to like the first area that I think there's going to be sheep at.
Right.
So yeah, there's no specific distance. But what I like about the cirque is that you never see the same country twice, so you're not like backtracking.
Right.
And then also like just when you start scouting, I mean, you guys have a lake chosen already and stuff like that. Yeah. So when I'll do that, I'll try and like identify all the areas that you can access an area, whether that's by ATV, trail, horses, flow plane, whatever it might be. Mm-hmm. Mark those all on Google Earth, and then from there, it's like, okay, try and find an area where there's not a lot of access to it.
Right.
Because they are, generally, I'd say you're probably gonna have better luck there.
Right.
Away from where all the other hunters are accessing it. So, yeah.
Cool.
Nice. That's a good tip.
Yeah, we hear glassing is the key.
Yeah.
Patience, glassing.
Yeah. Glass lots.
Glass lots, yeah.
What else? You guys have an eye patch at all? Or do you ever bring one for your spotter?
No, but I have heard folks just like, switching their hat, kind of blocking the one eye.
Yep. Yeah, you can do that. I haven't actually played around with the eye patch yet, but I think about it every time I glass because it's like constantly like holding one shot to, basically get rid of all that input that comes from the other eye.
That's a good idea.
I have yet to try it, but I'd like to. I think it might help.
Yeah.
What else? I don't know.
Yeah.
You guys had some good shots from that hunt.
Yeah.
Like you take your boots off.
Drake had some good shots.
Yeah. But obviously it's archery, so you're getting close, but yeah, some cool angles where, you're kind of a little lower than the sheep. He doesn't know you're there. And the sheep's kind of skylined a little bit on some rocks. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. I like that one a lot. It was cool, man. Just cool experience. You guys you're gonna absolutely love it.
Yeah, can't wait.
You guys are gonna be hooked.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, it's funny because I almost feel like I shouldn't say this, but like I'm really not that fixated on sheep.
Yeah,
but it's more so like getting to the area where the sheep are that I'm excited about.
100%.
But I think once we've done this hunt, I think that's probably going to change. I'm probably going to be more connected to the idea of like pursuing sheep.
Yeah.
But right now it's kind of like I just want to go and like, if we didn't see any sheep and we hunted something else, that'd be fine too. But I think you and Garrett are both more like really want to get a sheep. Like it's more important to you guys. But
what I'm a little bit worried about, and maybe less so now because I know the time of year we're going up, sheep's only open for the first 5 days. Or sorry, the only thing that's open in the first 5 days of our hunt is sheep.
Okay.
And then caribou and moose kind of are after that first 5 days.
Okay.
Which I enjoy because I know we're going to be focused on sheep for at least that first 5 days.
Yeah.
And
not get sidetracked.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm worried about is getting sidetracked with something else because I really do want to, focus on sheep at least for the first half at least.
Awesome.
And so I'm happy with the time of year we chose.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then we do have some options, right? Like if things change, if a caribou runs across the tent, then we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Bring a bunch of tags. You never know.
Yeah, exactly.
I think there's a lot of goat in there too, from what we've heard. So
cool.
Oh, here's something I wanted to ask you for flying.
Yeah.
So it's going to be August. There's a potential that it could be quite warm.
Yeah.
Were you guys bringing in Yetis with you and dry ice?
Yeah.
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 What size coolers were you bringing?
So I brought in a Yeti 110.
Okay.
And then we had did we have a hopper? Yeah, I think we did. We made a couple pangas and stuff like that just for storing stuff around camp. But that's a huge one actually. If you're going for multiple species up north, especially if it's going to be early and it's going to be hot, I did dry ice in mine and it was unbelievable.
So you just left it at the lake and then?
Yeah, so I actually I bought the ice in Vancouver. Took me like 2 days essentially to drive up there, I think. And then we flew in. So we flew in 2 days after, and then we left it on the side of the lake, just like under the shade. Make sure you crack the drain, not because it's gonna leach out any liquid or anything like that, but otherwise, like it builds up pressure, right?
Oh, okay.
As the dry ice starts to melt, which you obviously don't want.
Yeah.
And I think it actually I think it actually makes it melt faster, like under pressure.
Interesting.
So what I did is I cracked it, but it was cracked like very, very small. And I came back and the whole thing was just like covered in ice. So it had basically blocked it. And then I looked at how much ice was in there. I opened it all the way up, and then I started putting meat in there. And I think the ice actually lasted longer after I opened it up all the way.
Oh, okay.
So I think you want to keep it open.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's a good
Cool.
tip.
Yeah. I mean, if you're driving and it's in my truck, essentially like in my Jeep.
Yeah.
It releases gas, so you got to be wary of that. You might get a little bit dizzy.
Okay. Good to know.
But yeah, it was crazy, dude. We killed on the 4th day, came back on the 5th day to camp, and then I think I put the meat in on the 6th day. Maybe the 5th or the 6th. So that would have been like either 7 or 8 days after I bought the ice. I'd say there's about like 50% left, 40% left. I threw it all in there, and within 4 hours I went back and we were chilling our beers in there to get them extra cold. And I, stuck my finger on the meat and like pushed it, and it was rock solid.
Wow.
Yeah, the inside might not have been frozen, but like the outside was like rock solid.
Holy shit.
And then we went back out, hunted for mountain goats for till day 10, and then the weather started to turn. So we got out of there and came back, another 2-day drive, and the ice was all gone, and the meat was like just barely starting to get soft, but it was still like totally frozen.
Right.
So, I mean, whatever, 13 days after I bought the ice, the meat was still frozen. It was
crazy.
Good. Yeah.
Cool.
I just recommend maybe getting some garbage bags and stuff like that. So when you freeze it, you don't get any freezer burn because it's so cold, right? And so what I did, I had it in the game bags, like the perforated game bags, breathable ones, I should say. And I threw it in there, and when I got back home and started to process it, there was a bit of freezer burn in like just a couple sections.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
We got a 65 and a 210. The 210's a beast.
Yeah.
But like, should we even attempt to bring that size, or should we?
It's pretty big. What kind of plane are you guys flying in on?
What
Beaver?
Yeah. So I mean, the 110 fit in there no problem. I was kind of worried about it, but I mean, usually they take out the seats and stuff like that. I don't know if they'll let you sit on it if they want to take out another like row of seats or something. But
so I think the 110 is longer, whereas the 210 is more of like, it's taller, right? It looks like a
box.
Yeah.
So
is it the same volume? I don't even know.
No, I think it's double.
Yeah.
Okay.
Twice.
Yeah.
I can sit in it and take a bath.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll show you a photo after Kelly.
I think I saw you guys post that. Yeah.
So
good question. I don't know. I'd maybe, if you have the space, like bring them both, and if the pilot says no, like it can't fit the 210, then take the ice out of the 210 and you know, leave half of it there or whatever, and then take what you need.
Right.
But I could easily fit a whole sheep in the 110, like super easy, all deboned out. Yeah,
I think,
and the cape too.
Yeah, I think we'd be able to get, if we took deboned everything, I think we'd probably be able to get most of it in the 65.
Yeah,
but if we got something bigger, we'd be in trouble.
Do you guys have any soft shells like the hoppers or anything?
No,
like that?
but that would be good too.
Like that, I don't know. Just another option I'm trying to think is like, because I don't know how much dry ice you get in after you throw a whole sheep in a 65. I don't really know the size, but maybe you're bringing soft shell. Maybe you pull out half the ice and you just keep it cold there so that you can put it back on a couple days later when you put the amount in the cooler.
Right.
Cool.
Cool. Something to think about. I guess we'll have to ask the pilot.
Yeah.
What we're dealing with, because I think it's a monster. But if we could bring it, we don't have to pack it. We could just leave it by the lake anyways.
Yeah.
And if we were very successful, and then we've got a lot of room for meat. So
it's a game changer, man.
Yeah,
and you just don't have to worry about it. And you go back out for another
hunt, definitely don't want to. That'd be brutal to go all the way up there and have your meat spoil, man. Would be heartbreaking. Yeah,
or get a bunch of flies on it or something like that, laying eggs or whatever.
So, gonna have to figure that out.
Yeah,
I got a question. One piece of gear or layer, that you wouldn't live without at that, and not excluding rain gear.
Okay. So sorry, just clothing we're talking. Hands down, Sitka Puffy.
Yeah. The big one.
Yeah.
I thought you might say that. Yeah, you're a big fan of that one.
Man, I run hot and then I get cold really fast.
Yeah.
So when I'm working, I'm sweating and I wear like the lightest possible layer, and then as soon as I stop, I get cold. So that thing, for those of you guys who are listening who don't know, it's it fits different. It's an expedition fit, so like it's quite baggy, I should say.
Yeah.
And it's designed so that, like, you know, you're hoofing it up a hill kind of thing. You stop, as opposed to having taken off all your layers. You can just take that puffy, you put it over top of everything.
Yeah.
And then the new one that they have that just came out is it's got that windstopper layer on the outside, so it cuts all the wind. That thing is phenomenal. I literally take it on every single hunt. Like when I was down in Baja, Tiburon, doesn't matter, I'll take it. And I've been appreciative every single time.
Yeah.
Nice.
Even though you guys are going in August and it's early, pack like it's going to get cold. We had, like, I think it was probably like 26 degrees, like hot when we first got up there for our sheep hunt. And we were right around the same time as what you guys are going to go. And then later in like day 6 or 7 or something like that, we had like snow, and then it would get hot again. So yeah, just bring everything.
Cool.
Yeah, it makes a good pillow too.
Yeah, it goes in my little silk liner and or a pillow liner, and yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah,
Nice.
Sweet.
Well, you're a wealth of information.
Yes, you are.
Oh, I hope it just came out clearly. I'll hung over here.
No, it did for sure. What do you got coming up for projects, man? You guys just released the film for the journal.
Yep.
Forget what it's called.
East of the Sun.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's great, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
I mean, I've done a couple projects with them, and always really enjoy it. They're just a one-man show, so trying to do it all. And
Hey, you did a good job with it.
thanks.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was fun. And then just came out with another series called Anyone's Hunt.
Okay.
So that came out on Onyx. They're the main sponsor behind that. Leopold was involved as well, Matthews and stuff like that. So that was down in Arizona. It's a 5-part series. And what I love about it is that it's like super educational. So really takes you through, like, if any of us wanted to go to Arizona, for example, where we went, here's the cost breakdown. Here's like what you have to do to get tags. Here's where you find all the information. Here's how we packed our food for this 10-day trip. Here's how we managed it every day. Here's how we hunted. Like, here's tips and tricks. And so super, super cool series. Excited about that.
Is that live now?
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, all 5 episodes are up. So you can go to like the Onyx Hunt YouTube page, and you'll find it there. I think they're all packaged together, so you can just like watch all.
Awesome.
I think it's a total of like maybe 25 minutes.
Yeah.
That was really cool, just like hanging out with the guys, and I actually got to hunt in front of the camera and also be behind the camera.
Nice.
So that was really fun. And then, so I think we'll do a couple more of those this year. Fingers crossed. It sounds like we might.
Sweet.
Cool.
What else? Man, lots of stuff, lots of ideas. Anyways,
Right.
I'm an idea guy. I don't know how much I'll follow through on, but
it's good to have lots of ideas, because there's always going to be one in there that sticks. There'll be
Yes.
lots that sort of fall to the side, but
yeah,
it's all part of it.
So I'm going to do goat hunt this year. So same one as the film we did last year.
Cool.
We're going to do the same hunt. A couple of us just wanted to go back, and we wanted to try it with our bows, because we're stupid like that.
Yeah.
And, we wanted more of a challenge.
Yeah, why you guys would want to go back, I have no idea. But.
And then it was a dick beater last year, but it'll be good. I can't wait. And then spring bear. I've got. I think I'm going to Africa with a client this year.
No shit.
To document a hunt for them.
Wow.
Which I'm super stoked on.
Yeah, no kidding.
You
need a sound guy. Just let me know.
I might. No, I need another shooter, because I think there's a bunch of them, so they're going to split up, and
okay.
It'll be hard to capture it all. I'm going to try turkey hunting this year for the very first time.
Yeah, we haven't. Well,
I've tried.
Yep. Have you? And any?
Well, it was cool because I went with my father-in-law, who's been hunting turkeys forever. And we actually did find some turkeys at the end of the day. We were kind of rushed to get out of there, and I had a chance, and I didn't really follow through on it. But I want to go back, because it's so close to us, right? It's a few hours. And it's a blast. It seems people always think the bigger animal is the more exciting one, but you talk to some people, and it's like turkey is number one, or they love grouse hunting, or waterfowl or whatever. So I think that's something we need to get into.
It is exciting. There's something about grouse. I don't know what it is. I get so fucking excited when I see a grouse.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I'm the exact same way. And it's weird. I don't know. I talked to a couple, I know guys that live in the States here, and I've talked to a couple of them, and I talked to Drake about it, and I don't know why, but I'm like, hey man, like, you ever like go grouse hunting? Like, I have no problem doing a backpack hunt, or I have no problem. I'm just as happy to go out and do a 1-day drive around and look for grouse kind of thing. Like, to me, they feed different aspects of what I love about hunting.
Yeah.
So I don't want to do all driving, but I also don't want to do all backpack.
Right.
Like I like a mix.
Yep.
And yeah, it just seems like guys down here don't really small game hunt that much. Like I'll go for a hike for rabbits, and I love it.
Yeah.
It's great.
That's fun too.
And great eating. So
Totally.
I don't know if it's a Canadian thing that we like all the small game, but or maybe I just don't know any Americans who like the small game.
Yeah.
So
that's your next video.
Yeah, like a gross video.
Any small game.
Yeah, what else? I don't know. Spring bear. Gonna do some deer for sure. Like blacktails, and then I'll do. This fall is kind of coming together, but I don't know for sure yet. I know that I'm trying to do a caribou hunt. I'm going to do a pronghorn hunt down in Montana.
Nice. We've been talking about that. That'd be awesome. Yeah.
It's it looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to try and do a sheep hunt this year. So we'll see, and then a couple other work projects in there.
Sounds like a shitty year.
Super shitty year. Yeah, not excited at all.
Yeah.
Hashtag living my best life.
That's what we'll call this episode.
Please don't.
Nice, man. Cool. Anything else you want to
add? Yeah, I guess the only other thing I would add is like, I'm always super happy to talk to anybody about hunting, and I'm always happy to share any information I have.
Your Instagram feed is great if folks aren't following you.
Yeah. So, I mean, if they want to follow me, that's you can find me at Talus Creative. It's all one word. So TALUS Creative. And yeah, I'm trying to make it. I'm trying to bring value essentially to anybody that follows. So my Instagram stories, I'm trying to bring value in terms of like, here's the gear I use. Here's my top pieces of gear from last year. Here's a hunt. And some of the hunts are long, but I'll really try and put like information in there about whether that's the animal, whether that's the population, whether that's the gear we're using, the people behind it, the food, like whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'll try and get that in there. So if anybody has any questions, you can follow me on there and you can reach out. I'm always happy to send you whatever, my gear list or shoot the shit. Doesn't matter. But always happy to help out. So
sweet.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Website?
I have a website. I don't update it that much, to be honest. I think the pictures are all pretty old. So you can go check it out, but you'll probably think I'm a shitty photographer because they're all 2-year-old pictures that suck.
Instagram it is. We'll put up a link in the show notes.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for doing this. Hopefully we'll do it again, and hopefully you and I will get a chance to work on another project in Africa or something like that.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome.
All right, man.
Thanks very much for having me.
Yeah. Cheers. Thanks.
Let's go get fucked up.
That's
cheers.
This episode of Rookie Hunter was also brought to you by North Arm Knives. North Arm Knives are handcrafted and sold directly through a father and son team right here in British Columbia. Choose from a selection of outdoor knives, kitchen knives, and custom engravings from northarmknives.com. They ship internationally and guarantee all of their work. Kelly and I have put their products to the ultimate test and give them our stamp of approval. Head over to northarmknives.com.